Hey everyone, Will Brink here, brinkzone.com. Today I'm hoping to give out some good practical information on creatine. Bit of background before we get into that. You know, if you don't know who I am, followed my stuff and know my sort of background to creatine, but I'm not your I guess your typical YouTube broadcaster talking about creatine, relying on secondary information that they read somewhere else and just relaying the same information. Creatine is a topic I've been researching for 30 years. I was the first, or certainly one of the first, if not the first person to write about the health medical type potential benefits of creatine in like the print mags, pre-internet. Yes, there was a time when there was no internet. So I used to write for the majority of the bodybuilding mags, fitness mags, all that, which I'll put my bio below. I've done consulting work for large creatine companies, been published in some peer-reviewed journals on the topic and so forth. So this is something I've been at a long time. So to that end, a lot of people do know me for my creatine work, and I way back in the day, I guess mid '90s, something like that. And I will post the article below. We all thought, or a lot of people thought, that creatine was creatine. It didn't matter where it came from. And that was not true. It's not true today, and we'll get into that in a second. And I'm going to give you information how to find out whether you're actually getting the good creatine. Hard, easy to go find, and we'll get to that in a second. So I got some tests together. I had some tests done, third-party testing of a bunch of creatines. I published them in Muscle Mag International to show that all creatine was not created equal. I did a follow-up, which was posted on the internet. Again, took a bunch of things off the shelf, sent them out to third-party labs, had it tested, published the results, and so forth, showing creatine was not creatine. It ranged considerably as to purity and contaminants and so forth. Now, back at that time, there was a handful of different creatine companies and sources of creatine companies. There was Chinese companies, there was the German company, there was an American company, there was an Italian company. So there was like a handful of companies making large quantities of creatine. And over time, it basically is down to two sources. The Chinese basically put everybody out of business, creatine dumping, of which they were accused of formally by the U.S. government, and so forth. And so there are now, if you buy creatine today, there's only two sources in the world that now produce creatine in large quantity, and that is China and Germany. That's it. So you are either eating the Chinese stuff or you're eating the German stuff. Now, I'm not saying, what I don't want to say also, now I know I want to get mine from, and that's going to be the German stuff. And if you read my articles and you follow stuff, you probably know why. Now, I'm not saying wholesale that the Chinese are not capable of making good quality creatine, because they are. And if a company is using Chinese creatine as their source and they testing it regularly, every batch, third party, and all that, as some can do, hey, it's fine. It's probably fine. And I'm not, if a company that I trust, and I know the company, and I know their testing and their third party testing and all that, then I wouldn't be completely opposed to using Chinese creatine. But on the balance, generally speaking, I use and recommend German creatine, and the German creatine is from one company, Allschem, and it's called Creapure. Now, what I'm going to show you is how to know that you're getting Creapure. If that's something you want, if you want to use it, I'll show you using my own product, which is Alpha Joe, because we only use Creapure and Alpha Joe. And so basically, the way you will know, because I just returned from the Arnold Classic, and I was at the Creapure booth quite a bit. I've done consulting for that company on and off, again, over the decades, and stopped by the Creapure booth and going, the common, almost the universal question, you would get over and over again is, how do I know if I'm getting German stuff, Creapure, or not? And so what you need to do is, anytime you have your product, what you want to do, let's see if I can get the, oh, okay. So right there, Everything is in reverse. See that Creapure logo right there? It will have that. Any company that is using Creapure is going to put has to put the Creapure logo on there if they plan on selling it for a lengthy period of time. And that's what you're looking for. Now, you would say, well, that's a done deal, right? Get on with my life, look for the Creapure logo. Well, no. So the reason for that is what they learned was that there were companies that were faking that seal. And what I'll try to do, either as an article or maybe as another video or something, is find websites of companies that are selling or at least faking the seal, which is pretty low. But this industry is full of scammers and also. So what the company had to do, what they've done is added a QC code, and so that every company that is selling Creapure gets their own unique code, and I'm going to show you how to find that, how to use it. If you go to the Creapure website, which we're going to go to in a second, and I will show you, they have a list of companies. So if you want to find a company that is selling Creapure, whether it's depending what country you're in, depending on the price you want to pay, whatever, but as long as it's got the Creapure logo and it's got the code of which you will then be able to use to make sure you're getting the good stuff, now you're good to go. So let me bring in the Creapure site, okay? So I'll put it below the video, so don't worry about that, but it's just Creapure.com, and at the top you can see Creapure and usage and team and buy now. So I've already on the buy now. So the buy now page, it will have a list of companies that are officially recognized to sell Creapure, of which mine is one of them. And so what we're going to do is you would scroll down. Now you see right there, you see the code. Below there is a code, okay? So we're going to scroll on down. We're going to go to the quality seal code. Now I've already put that in there. So basically that is, let me get back over here, make sure I got, so let's see if I can get that up there. Okay, anyway, you can barely see it. I know it's really, really small, but below the seal, the Creapure seal, you can see there's numbers. And so those are my numbers on my product, on my Alpha Joe coffee booster, which, by the way, tastes good, feels good, and it's good for you. And I will put Alpha Joe below that so you can check that out. So let's go back to the, let us go back to the web page. So I've already put, as you can see, I've already put the code in. So you go to put that in there, hit search, and there you go. So Alpha Joe, code 21AP19. That is telling you that you are getting the legit German creatine, the good stuff, as far as I'm concerned, where you don't have to worry about quality, you don't have to worry about purity, you don't have to worry about contaminants and so forth. So hopefully that gives you real-world, useful information you can apply right away if you want to get what I would consider the creatine that I have always used and recommended, and worry about other things in your life. And if you have any questions about that, put them below this video. Let me get out of this. Let me go back to my feed. So that's the easy way to know if you're getting the good German creatine. And like I say, they started with just having the seal quality seal, and found that a number of companies online and other places were faking the seal. So they then developed the quality control actual code that you can go look up. And I hope that's useful information. Now you know how to get the good creatine without worrying about it, without wondering if you're getting the pure stuff. And I'll see you guys all on the Brink Zone.